Hi, thank you for tuning in to this YouTube video. About 2 weeks before the heavy hurricane happened in Texas, a radio listeners of mine wished to have lots of CDs of any sutras that I have recited. She wanted to have it for herself and also to give to friends and relatives as gifts. I was touched and of course I accepted. And the first thing to do was to choose a sutra, right? Amazingly, this sutra, the lamp that makes things clear, a prophecy directly from Shakyamuni Buddha, appeared on my screen vividly like, read me. And it was amazing that in this sutra, it said that the perfect time to read it was the 7th month of the lunar calendar. And why I touched that file, it was exactly the 7th month of the Vietnamese calendar. So of course, I decided to read this. While I was recording it for her, there was, first of all, the Harvey hurricane in Houston, Texas. Then the Irma hurricane in Florida. Then exactly when I was recording it, there were 3 shakes in San Jose, 3 earthquakes in one day. And I could feel it, but I thought somebody was walking in the hall heavily. But no, actually, a few seconds later, there were people screaming outside in the hall, earthquake, earthquake. And then the very next day, there was a huge earthquake in Mexico, about 7 point something. So I'm not saying that because I was reading this sutra that I was able to save the whole city from the huge earthquake. But I'm just telling you what happened. It was amazing to me that all of these disasters happened around that time. And the request made by this very special listener really moved me. Now, I just finished recording it. We are in the 7th month of the Tibetan calendar. So with that, I just want to let you know that this sutra is very powerful. It's about the prophecy directly from Shakyamuni Buddha to Avalokiteshvara, Maitreya, and Ananda about the year 2026 to 2032. I read this sutra back in 2015 and I could feel some powerful things happen. And in this sutra, it said that if you don't believe such thing, then you shouldn't listen or you shouldn't read it. It could create more obstacles and more bad things to you than benefit you. So I urge you, either continue to listen with an open heart or turn it off. And I will talk with you later about different topics. With that, thank you for listening and thank you for tuning in to this YouTube video. And for those of you who are still with me, well, let's discover the prophecy from Shakyamuni Buddha for the years to come. And hopefully, we all can benefit others. Thank you. With the wish to benefit all sentient beings in the 6 realms, I hope you will receive this sutra with an open heart. I also wish that you will help us to spread this sutra around the world. With that, thank you very much. And shall we start this special sutra, the lamp that makes things clear. This work takes the form of a dialogue involving Shakyamuni Buddha, Ananda, Avalokiteshvara, and Maitreya concerning events commencing 2026 and lasting through 2032. Until I am enlightened, I shall go for refuge to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the highest assembly from the virtuous merits that I have collected by practicing giving and other perfections. May I attain the state of a Buddha to benefit every sentient being. Until I am enlightened, I shall go for refuge to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the highest assembly from the virtuous merits that I collect by practicing giving and other perfections. May I attain the state of a Buddha to benefit every sentient being. Until I am enlightened, I shall go for refuge to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the highest assembly from the virtuous merits that I collect by practicing giving and other perfections. May I attain the state of a Buddha to benefit every sentient being. Namo Guru Be Namo Buddhaya Namo Dhammaya Namo Sanghaya Namo Guru Be Namo Guru Be, Namo Buddhaya, Namo Dhammaya, Namo Sanghaya. Homage to the three jewels, the victorious one Shakyamuni Buddha once related this teaching applicable to a time when the evil period would arise. It is like a path because all sentient beings are connected to it. When the victorious one was sitting under the Bodhi tree and thinking of all sentient beings of the world, he saw that at the end of 500 years, an evil age would begin. As to the deeds and thoughts of all these beings, those with great merit would come into contact with this teaching, while those with little merit would not. The pain from conflicting emotions would be great indeed, because it seemed that humans living on the surface of the earth would be as if cut to pieces with swords. Due to this, the venerable Ananda pleaded with the victorious one, because you consider things with great compassion, spare humankind this torment. And the victorious one replied to the venerable Ananda, I have this to say about it. While I was residing in the great expanse of space, I was thinking of and gazing on the beings of the world. So listen, there is a teaching useful during the time when the dark age arises. If one rises of it, propagates it, and practices the great responsiveness, meditation, and recitation, impurities and obscurations will be quickly purified. If one sincerely makes offerings to this spiritual text with flowers and incense, all sentient beings will benefit. By propagating this text and writing about it, one will obtain a good existence throughout all of one's lives. Then, near the base of a tree, there was a great lake. On its shores sat the greatly responsive one in the form of Avalokiteshvara. He appears with and for others. While considering all beings in his responsiveness and compassion, he began to shed copious tears. Then the victorious one said, Listen carefully, O greatly responsive one. It is not necessary to shed tears, so heed my words well. During the month of the tiger in the new year, I intend to go to many places. At that time, during the evil age, all sentient beings will be freed from the ocean of existence's miseries. All evil conduct will be abandoned and will lead sentient beings away from evil states that they have fallen into. At that time, this spiritual text will be well known. Because of this text, and by making it known, all sickness will end. If written about by one person, it will benefit one city. If proclaimed by one city, it will benefit all states. The merit of humankind will be increased, and secondary evil influences averted. One will be free of hellish torments, and it will be of benefit for both this life and the next one. This path is desirable for all sentient beings of the 6 classes. For example, it is like taking a boat across a river or the ocean. This is truly a most beneficial text until Maitreya arrives in the world of humans. By writing of this teaching and spreading it to other areas in one lifetime, in one embodiment, one's merit will increase limitlessly. The bloody ocean of life as a vicious circle will dry up. First, because of the 10 impure practices, sentient beings will come under the power of conflicting emotions. Oh, pity of these sentient beings. After this, an area in the human realm will be as if filled with blood. 3. When it comes to reaping your own merits, you will be powerless to do so. 4. Human suffering will become very great. 5. People won't be able to perceive the path. 6. Cities will become filled with carnivorous animals. 7. The residences of politicians will become deserted. 8. Individuals will be unable to cope with one another. 9. Hungry ghosts will be seen wandering about the cities. Things will be like this as a result of 10 impure practices. One will not compliment or praise another person. There will only be praise of oneself and putting down others. There will be basically 4 social groups: the politicians, the rich, common people, and the well-educated. If all of these peoples have confidence in this text and devotion toward it, a good time period will result. But the victorious one continued, if people have an irrational trust in it, they will follow one another and fall straight into the most intolerable of hells. The earth and heavens will be filled with the cries of those who have not heard this teaching. A time of epidemics will result. But as soon as one hears this spiritual message and then writes it down and distributes it, these epidemics will be brought under control. All famine that might exist will be pacified and people will achieve a good existence. Furthermore, there are 7 miseries that humans might suffer. First, there is a misery like that of a denizen in hell. Second, the misery of hunger and thirst for a hungry ghost. Third, the misery of disputes and warfare as an anti-god might experience. Fourth, the frustration resulting from having no leisure and constant hunger and want. Fifth, the misery of having erroneous views. Sixth, the misery of having a long life like a god. And seventh, the misery in potential existence when in the after-death state. This text is of benefit for these situations. For if one trusts in it, one will achieve success in all that one may strive for. All diseases will be destroyed, and there will be a return to good times. If one is to ask how this will come about, it is like this. Out of a deep space, in the fire male horse year 2026, a large meteor will strike down on the shores of a large body of water. This spiritual text will appear when the meteor cracks open. Having appeared, it is very important when teaching this document that there are no secrets or hidden meanings. There is but one, no secondary meaning. It has been put together for the benefit of all sentient beings, and may all the torments of existence end. After 500 years will be a time when the teachings of the spiritually awakened one will be on the decline, and monks' ethics and general conduct will become corrupted, when evil thoughts will occupy the mind, and food supplies will be contaminated, a time when the 10 unwholesome deeds will be practiced, and practitioners of advanced spiritual techniques will recite only evil mantras, and the 5 poisons will overwhelm one's perceptions. It will be a time when body and speech acts will be perverted. Teaching of spiritual values will deteriorate. A time when feathers will grow on mountains, and a person will travel about in wooden and metal vehicles. All of one's actions will merely contribute to evil happenings. A time of fearfulness when evil will manifest most definitely. This text will reverse the contributory evil causes of this time by so much as seeing it, writing of it, proclaiming it. There's no doubt that these evil times will end. It is sufficient to see what is true and what is not true, and to say that one knows to be the truth. In those people who say it is untrue, from the tops of their heads to the bottom of their feet, signs that they will be seized by sickness will appear. After the victorious one had spoken these words, Avalokiteshvara, Maitreya, Ananda, gods, anti-gods, humans, and spirits who live on odors, all rejoiced and offered great praise of his words. The victorious one touched his right hand, marked with certain signs and characteristics, to the earth, and by this act conquered the dark forces of spiritual death, along with their retinue.